Okay. Which camera? Which camera do I...
No, that's mine.
I look at this one?
No, yours is that one. It's that one.
I'm here. We got this one here.
An audio?
Yes. Am I coming through okay? Yeah?
Yes?
We're
Okay.
good? Yeah, we're ready to start.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers to 5 years.
Cheers.
Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
And this is a look back at the last 5 years.
Also a total ripoff of Vanity Fair.
I don't know if you guys watch that, like when the actors do their whole filmography. No bones about it. We're just ripping it off.
We gotta get inspiration from somewhere.
That's the greatest form of flattering, right?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Imitation.
So, the year is 2016, and we started we made the channel in April. Mm-hmm. We put out a teaser in, I think, May for our first episode.
But we didn't actually publish that first episode until July.
That's right.
And why didn't we publish it until July, Chad?
Because we were ambitious from the get, right?
We decided that we could do, 16 flights?
Yeah.
And record them all?
Well, back then, the Whiskey Tube landscape looked a little bit differently. There wasn't a whole lot of channels, and honestly, we weren't watching any Whiskey Tube. It wasn't even called Whiskey Tube back then.
I don't think we were even aware that there was such a thing.
No, well, there wasn't really. There was other channels who've been doing it longer than we had, but we weren't watching any of them. Decided to start. Yeah. And we thought, well, this would be a cool episode. What if we did 50 bourbons under $25? On this episode of It's Bourbon Night, we're going to do our final flight in the 50 bourbons under $25 challenge.
Find out our top picks plus more about this series.
Oh, it's bourbon night, we're gonna do it right, we're gonna have a glass to begin, yeah.
What we didn't think about is that you have to get the 50 bourbons. You have to taste through them all in their flights and do all of that stuff and record it all. So that did take us a while. And then when we finally did get to recording that episode, it was interesting. It's pretty much the classic, be looking at the wrong camera. Lots of, if you just look at that episode, your whole setup has totally changed since then.
Yeah. We did film most of those individual flight fights. We didn't really plan for them to ever air, but I guess I just thought I might cut back to them for some reason.
That
never really did. But one thing that I noticed going back and kind of looking at the last 5 years is I would get a lot more upset if what I thought was going to come in first place didn't come in first place.
Which was your number one pick.
Is?
JTS Brown.
No way! No way!
Do you want to know what number one is?
No!
Your second choice?
Yeah.
Is Buffalo Trace.
We both had a lot of that back then, just in that what we thought we were drinking, as far as what we thought we were drinking in our everyday lives or just our, preferences were turned upside down by doing flight fights. But that was fun. And then we kept, throughout the rest of 2016, it was mainly uncorkings and flight fights. But we did introduce a few firsts that ended up becoming traditions. I mean, we started doing the gift guides, which we've done every year since then. Yeah. And of course, our favorite, the Halloween episodes.
We decided on it.
No.
We decided on the best Jason.
I'm definitely supposed to be Jason.
No, hello. Look.
No, my Jason is way better.
Was that the year of the Old Crow Reserve?
Yes,
yeah.
It was the year of the Old Crow Reserve. We hadn't learned our lessons by then.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, but is that the most inebriated you have been in an episode?
100%. I have not. I learned a lesson that day, and it was don't try to shoot that many episodes in one day.
Was Kevin Bacon in it?
Probably.
Was Kevin Bacon in it? No.
Probably.
The following is not going to win an Emmy or
There's
anything,
a good chance
but it's interesting.
that Kevin Bacon was in it.
They play a lot on The Crow.
All right,
Anyways.
we're getting off topic.
And we haven't done that since.
Yeah, I think we filmed maybe a flight fight before that.
Whew, it was brutal.
But entertaining.
Who makes a pecan pie not for Thanksgiving? But anyways, foliage and all this shit. Sorry. This is what I would probably choose because
one of the things I do miss, though, from the early days is the outtakes. Those were, I just loved watching them. It was so fun. But now, after doing it for 5 years, it is something I miss because I guess we're just more used to being...
We're too good. We got too good.
We're seasoned.
Yeah, and and people people say that too, like, oh, I miss the outtakes.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, the one that had the most outtakes was Bourbon 101.
Oh, yes.
Which was like our second or third episode.
On this episode of Bourbon Night, we're gonna give you as a mash bill. And we'll obviously be doing this again.
Yeah, I think because I was looking into that one. I did it again.
What'd you do?
I didn't look at the other one.
Son of a...
Now, blah, 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 blah.
It's a family show.
I would even say though that you had the advantage there because you've done in front of the camera stuff before. I really had not done anything in front of the camera before.
Right.
So basically learning lines, right?
Yeah.
Not my forte.
Little Four Roses 130th, Sarah.
Yeah, also an anniversary bottle. It's an anniversary episode.
It's gonna be hard for us to get to 130 years.
You know, I don't see us making it to 130 years unless there's some kind of leaps and bounds gains in science. But 2017 was a year of milestones.
Yeah, it was. Our first 1,000 subscriber milestone.
3,000?
5,000.
I remember in the early days we were so excited to hit that next one. I mean, I'm still excited to hit that next one.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you know, as you hit more, you gotta pace them farther and farther out. So like, I guess our next milestone would be 100,000, which I don't think we're gonna hit this year. I don't.
No.
We still got about 20,000 left to go. And it's about quality and not quantity. But in those early days, like it felt so gratifying to, I don't think either of us ever really expected us to hit 1,000 subscribers. And
No, because we had no expectations.
And then like, again, once we hit that first 1,000 and we were like, wow, okay, this could actually be a thing.
Like, people are paying attention. We have 1,000 subscribers, everybody. Hold on.
Right.
Let's now think about what we're doing.
Exactly.
That's one thing. It's like in the beginning, it's like, what do you want to do? What sounds fun to you? But, you know, it becomes like, what do the people want to see, or what performs better? In the beginning, it was just completely like, hey, you know what'd be fun?
What do we feel like doing this week?
Yeah.
No, we started getting requests for covering topics, and I think that we really started to think about branching out more so than just all uncorking some flight fights, right? Because that's pretty much what we had done. We did kind of try to revisit the success of our very first video and up to the 50 under 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to buy 50 more bourbons that are under $50 and do that whole bracket.
I'd just like to thank my mom and the Academy, you for all the free bourbon.
Fun fact, did you know that the 50 under 50 is still to date our #2 most popular video?
Yes.
And sometimes I'm like, don't look away from those old episodes that still are very popular. We had a lot of other firsts in 2017 because I mean it was still very early, you know. We did Know Your Distillery, which we did one and then we realized that they were really hard.
We filmed another one.
We have filmed another one, and it is something that we really, truly love doing them, and so we would love to do some more, and that's the plan.
Yes.
Let's see, what else did we do? We did our first advent calendar, which is now like a wildfire popular
right, like
on the
everyone's
internet.
doing an advent calendar now.
Let's see what else.
Drink more bourbon.
Cocktails.
Hello and welcome to a brand new segment, Drink More Bourbon.
Cocktails.
Oh, those early episodes, though, I have such higher standards for what a cocktail can be presented.
Neither of us have been bartenders. You've worked in
and around
the
bars.
industry. My experience is making girly drinks in my early 20s for my friends that had, you know...
like painkillers.
Painkillers and anything that had just a dirty name in it. So that was my experience, because we've gone to classes and we've gotten advice from actual bartenders, and we've grown a lot there.
And we have good ice.
We have good ice. But I think we started that because, you know, bourbon isn't the thing you think of first when you think of cocktails.
I want to share with the world how delicious a bourbon cocktail is.
Exactly.
So we've been continuing that. And the last thing I think that's really important to talk about that we started in 2017 was event coverage.
Yep.
We went to the New Orleans Bourbon Festival for the first time.
Yes.
Bourbon Festival, the New Orleans Bourbon Festival's first year ever.
I mean, not counting 2020, I guess this is our 4th year.
Yeah,
going.
4th year. And this time we're presenting.
And like those events are so important to us because that is how we've met so many people in our community. It's how we get to connect with them, and we just love to continue to see that, like, and meet new friends.
Yeah.
I mean, doing the YouTube thing and seeing that subscriber number rise, that's great and all, but whenever we go to those and we actually get to meet the people who watch, it's so fulfilling.
Yes.
Like, it brings a tear to my eye.
Oh man, it does. 2018.
Yes, as the snowball, as you say, really started to pick up.
The snowball gained speed.
Starts to roll downhill. 2018, wow, a lot of things happened. I mean, we hit 1 million views.
Yep.
We did our 100th episode.
We did.
Uh, 15,000 subscribers, which was major for us.
Another
Because, like,
milestone.
insane.
Trips, we did New Orleans Bourbon Festival. There's a second year, but it was our first time to go to Austin, Texas in general. That was the first Bastards Ball, which was the Crowded Barrel Distillery opening.
The inaugural event.
And that's where we met so many other channels that we'd only, you know, seen on the Whiskey Tube.
Yeah, I would say that 2018 was really a year of us tapping into the whiskey community, as far as I actually felt like I was part of something other than us just doing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Right? Because we went there, we met all those people, we met even more people in New Orleans that year.
Yeah.
I mean, we also started our Patreon community. And so we had people joining there as well. And it was like, wow, I don't know. It was just very, I wouldn't even call it, I guess, overwhelming. The overwhelming support and like the connection with other people. Like,
well, you realize the reach, right?
Exactly.
It became tangible. We met so many people for the first time there that we have kept in contact with and hung out with since then.
There are no strangers in whiskey.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I think we've given them like 4. There are no strangers in whiskey.
Chad, did we just enter a cult?
I think we did. It's not a cult.
Definitely not a cult.
What we do is great and it's rewarding for a lot of reasons, but the community is like no other. I mean, it can't be beat.
Right.
We also started doing live episodes as a result of Patreon support. We said we would go live every week.
Once a week.
We had to figure that out.
Now we've done over 150 lives.
Right? But it's so funny to me because in the beginning we thought, you know, it would be fun. Let's go do on location lives. Fail.
Yeah.
Major fail.
One time at New Orleans Bourbon Festival where we had really good Wi-Fi, we found out that you have to clear things like that with the hotel before you go live in their lobby, so we got
the boot.
Kicked out. All right, well that's what happens sometimes when you go guerrilla, but it's all good.
There's so many great things about 2018, again, because we really just picked up steam and it started to feel like this could really be a bigger thing than just a hobby.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things about 2018 is that we really got to start to stretch our legs in terms of content. And we got to do that What It's Like to Go on a Barrel Pick episode, which to date is one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done. And it was truly like years in the making. I mean, even, you know, around when we started the channel.
2.5, 3 years, because, you know, we're both members of the Lexington Bourbon Society.
Represent?
I represent. My first barrel pick was Four Roses, actually back when you semi-easily get a Four Roses barrel pick, and then there was lots of Knob Creeks and Russell's Reserve and all that. So I had
it sounds like you had a terrible time, Chad.
It was
back
terrible.
when you could actually get on a Four Roses barrel pick. I've been fortunate enough to be on one as well. You can't really do that
Standing right
anymore.
next to Al Young, something that I will never take for granted. That was also one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah. What's crazy is how many more we've gotten to do since that video. I mean, it's insane. And so many of them have been virtual, but honestly, we've had a great time doing all of them. And like, I know we're not there yet in terms of the years, but this year has really been the year of the barrel pick, right?
This year that we're currently in right now.
Current year.
Yes. 2019, Sarah, the year of...
I would call it learning.
Yeah, it took us this long to learn.
Well, I think we were on such an upswing coming out of 2018, and we were thinking, okay, this is growing way faster than we thought it was going to grow.
By 2019, we were like, okay, no, this is a thing.
Like, this is a thing, and it could lead to bigger things. And
that was the year of me being like, hold up, if things keep going, if that snowball we talked about last year keeps rolling and gets bigger and bigger as it rolls down the hill, it was the year of hold up. That's what it was, the year of hold up.
But I think, you know, looking into those analytics, we really started to see what episodes perform, what episodes don't perform.
Yeah.
And so we started to tinker with our model, you know?
We did.
Even more so, less flight fights, less just straight up uncorkings, and more thinking outside the box. One thing that we did that wasn't necessarily out of the box, but we did revisit our first episode and we made it 64 bourbons under $30
this
for
time.
two reasons.
Inflation.
Inflation is one of the reasons. The second reason was we wanted people to stop watching that original.
Please stop watching our first video ever. It was not good. Finally, people can stop watching our very first video from 2016 where we did 50 bourbons under $25.
Yeah, stop watching that. Like, don't go back to that.
50 under 50 is still our number 2.
Yeah.
Our number 1 is our bar cart episode, which is due for a revisit.
We learned you can try to predict and look at analytics, speaking of analytics, all that you want, but you never know when a video will take off. In retrospect, I wouldn't have worn my gym shorts because it got some comments like, this dude's wearing gym shorts. I'm like, well, I didn't think almost 800,000 people would watch this.
I also didn't.
I might have worn jeans or a tuxedo.
I might have worn a tuxedo had I known.
You just never know what will take off.
I want something a little more unique, something that's going to impress someone.
Sarah, I got just the thing.
Do you have it?
You know what? It's like we wrote this before, but yeah, no, I have it. If I can find it. Here it is. 4 Roses, small batch, but wait for it, select.
When we were tinkering too, you know, we tried the 5 things you didn't know about Blanton's, which also has done pretty well.
Yes, that was fun.
I'd love to do more of those.
Absolutely.
about other brands.
And that is also planned.
And some of the things that we tried worked, and some of the things that I really enjoy that we worked on didn't work.
So one of your favorite episodes was
we Googled it for you. Your bourbon questions answered.
What's the difference between bourbon and whiskey? Let's see what we get.
The main difference between Scotch and whiskey is geographic. Well, Scotch is a whiskey, so that doesn't really make sense. But also ingredients and spellings. Yes, spelling. That's the difference.
Spelling is the difference. Wait, this one smells like it's spelled differently.
It must be with an E, Chad.
You know, when you look at Googled questions, how misguided some of them can be.
Yes.
And it's not that I'm making fun, but I'm like, honestly, that's why our channel is here. I had so much fun making that episode. Oh, did terrible. Yeah. Nobody liked it. Nobody watched it.
They're like, oh, you guys are kind of mean in this one.
Which it breaks my heart because I'm probably the most sensitive person ever.
Well, it's probably some of those people who Googled some of those things. One of my favorite episodes happened in 2019, and that was Tricked or Treated with Whisky. So it was our ongoing Halloween. Stranger Things was really big then, so we were at Scoops Ahoy.
Scoops Ahoy! I love doing that.
Yeah.
We should do that again.
And it was sort of like our first foray into like a whiskey game show, which we have continued since then.
We love
some
in-person events.
In-person events, there you go. Sarah, you've just entered the hot seat.
Okay, fine. I'll take an easier stab. Oh, this is so tricky. I'm gonna guess.
Or treaty.
But it's a rye bourbon, a higher rye bourbon.
It is a rye bourbon, but it's not a high rye bourbon.
That's not what I meant. You didn't say high or low.
Okay.
You just said rye.
It is a rye mash bill bourbon, so.
Rye mash bill bourbon. Apologies on my phrasing. I'm sorry, Alex. What is?
We put so much work into the Halloween episodes, and I think it's just because we love Halloween so much. What we did start doing, that's actually been a lot of fun that I think people enjoy, is the Bourbon Bowl.
We both picked the Chad pick of...
Yes. So Chad won.
Touchdown dance.
Okay, I know a better way to do this than just...
I don't actually care about losing. I just don't like this. The score, by the way, is 2 Chad, 1 Sarah.
That's
I
true.
won last year. It's not one of those that gets like a crazy amount of views. It's like skyrocketed or anything. It's more of like a cult classic, right?
And it pits people, you know, to
Team Chad or Team Sarah?
Team Chad or Team Sarah.
I like working with you. I really like working against you.
It's fun though. It's fun. What we're drinking on right now is actually 2019 was the first year that we were able to do It's Bourbon Night pick. We'd been on picks before, but this was the first year where it was actually ours, where it said It's Bourbon Night on the label. And we did the sticker. This was a mash made in heaven.
Which I guess like one other thing happened in 2019.
What?
Just like a small thing. We did get married.
Oh, that's right.
Sarah.
Yes, I do.
That's a record time. We're good.
We got married.
We did decide to do that. Mostly so that we could live in the same house and then work together all the time.
Well, it's so funny because we thought, man, when we live together, like, we'll just be like, hey, want to go record an episode? Absolutely, let's go do it. And it doesn't work that way, because then you're like, no, I'm like good on the couch right now.
Like, I'm watching a movie.
What are you doing? Can you imagine how much we can get done if we just, because before.
That's not why we did it.
It's not why we did it. No, it wasn't.
I feel like this very much sounds like Chad's business proposal for getting married.
Like a marriage of convenience.
Like, I feel like he gave me a proposal.
No, there was like feelings and all that stuff.
Wrapping up 2019, we did the Bourbon Night Awards for the first time.
The Bourbon Night Awards.
Again, feeding off of that whole communal thing that had started to really pick up, we felt like, okay, we've got a lot of people watching. We are connected in this community now. Mm-hmm. We can do an awards, or like we were doing the best ofs, which is our personal preference.
Yeah, but we started that in 2017, best of the year, right?
Best of the year. But then we were like, okay, this is what we've been able to taste and what we think is the best of the year. What does the community think is the best of the year?
Let's crowdsource.
And so, in a very Oscars, Emmys type of fashion, we were like, let's put out categories and we'll have people vote, and then we'll just do those. I love the Bourbon Night Awards.
So much. 2019. Nope. 2020.
Wow, no more bourbons for Chad in between.
Well, this is a rye. It's a rye.
This is a rye, so technically
it's not a bourbon, Sarah.
No,
we picked it though.
I guess 2020 should be called the year from home.
It was called that, not just on our channel, but the world.
Right.
There was a little thing that happened. We don't have to get into it.
We don't have to get into it, but there was a silver lining, I think, for us.
Yes.
And that even though, because like we've been talking about, such a big part, a growing part of our channel over these years has been the whiskey community and how much we were able to connect with our fans, other channels, people in the industry. Like, it's been one of my favorite things. And then all of a sudden in-person events stop happening. Now what?
Is this the end of Whiskey Tube?
And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
And it was actually like amazing because we got to be part of so many virtual events with people that we may not have been able to connect with before. And actually, I feel like we felt as connected as ever, if not more.
Yeah, Whiskey from Home, that was Bourbon Pursuit.
Bourbon Pursuit.
The Deggy World, that was Fred Minnick.
Yeah, Repeal Day Expo.
Repeal Day Expo.
We got
Bourbon
to do
Women.
The Symposium or Summer Sip Series.
Summer Sip Series, what you did. And yeah, you know, we continued live as we always do, so we were still connecting with people that way, and we continued our episodes. And
we get to do those Flaviar nightcaps where we get, you know, open things up and just have a conversation.
That's when we were part of the biggest virtual toast on the internet. We were a part of that. We were two of the hosts. We also did the Buffalo Trace virtual tour. Like people really pivoted and quickly adjusted and were like, okay, you can't come on a tour. How about a virtual tour? So we hosted that virtual tour, which was a really cool episode.
I just feel like the innovation that we experienced in 2020 from distilleries, from partners, like other people in the community, people figuring out how to still make it work, how to still connect with the people that are out there. Honestly, I think it was really refreshing to see the creativity, and it was inspiring too. I mean, even we did innovate, you know, our advent calendar. We saw a lot of new channels come onto the scene, and everybody was kind of latching onto that idea towards the end of 2020, and we were like, love it, want to see it.
Yep.
But for us, if we've done this for the past few years, maybe it's time. And
pivot.
Let's pivot. But we had seen so much success with our best of the years.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here and we're doing, you know, like in the beginning, we're doing these tastings of our contenders for the best of the year.
Right.
Off camera.
Yeah.
Maybe we bring it on camera.
Hello, dog.
Hello.
Oh, there's the dog interrupting things.
Come here.
Oh.
Come interrupt. Oh, is this an outtake? Give me a kiss. Come here.
Or is it in the episode? We'll see. Continue, Sarah.
Let's focus on our contenders for that best of the year and give them each like a 5-minute spotlight every day.
Yeah.
And taste through those.
You don't want to ever remain stagnant and just kind of play the hits. 2020 was also the year that we started another round with Chad and Sarah, which is a Patreon-only exclusive, but we started doing that. I think we've done over 50 episodes now to date of, after we do an uncorking or a fly fight or whatever it is, we unpack what we did, or we introduce some other new bottle that's germane to the subject. in another round.
Plus, we're also usually feeling pretty good by the time.
Oh yeah, like
another
right now.
round, like right now would be the perfect time for another round. You know, something else we haven't mentioned is that we hit 50,000 subscribers, and I feel like what a jump since the last time we talked about that stat, right? Like,
I think
again,
the last time we talked about it was 15.
15. I think we can both fairly say that that's not something we ever saw happening. But once that happened, I saw a little light bulb go off in Chad's head like, wait, 100 is a possibility. I think that we were also really fortunate though. We gotta count our blessings in 2020 because something that happened, we happened to get in the inbox for the media press kit samples for the BTAC collection from 2020, which it was like...
Born out of that was one of our, I'll just go ahead and say it, Sarah, our most unique intro to a video, most creative. We love doing, you know, little skits and stuff like that. And,
whenever we can,
and we got the best response.
We happy? Chad, we happy?
Yeah, we happy.
Chad, you've had a lot of pours.
One teach, one. We've both had a lot of pours, Sarah. It's 5 years we're celebrating.
We are.
With another one of our picks, one of our favorites, actually, A Dame to Drink For. Which camera am I looking at? A Dame to Drink For. Nulu pick. That's actually one of the things, a skill that we sort of developed is making barrel pick art.
Well, we went from doing one in 2019 with the Mash Made in Heaven.
Yeah.
One in 2020. And then all of a sudden in 2021, it was like the bourbon gods decided to shine upon us, shine their bright light.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we started getting access to being able to do barrel picks via, you know, online outlets and things like that. And again, we went from having done 2 of all time to now we're halfway through the year and we've done at least a dozen or more.
Yeah.
But you know, the reason that we've been able to do the barrel picks and the stickers by extension is because of the support that we've gotten from the community, right? We have our Patreon community, which is, you know, grown so much since 2018 when we first started it. That type of stuff really makes us think about the future, you know? As far as content, we have definitely come up with a lot more stuff in 2021. Do Drink This or That now.
This or That,
we did Rye Month for the first time ever instead of Dry Month in January.
Oh,
right?
it was a January Rye Month.
We did a tour of our collection.
We did.
For the first time.
Yes.
We completed our bourbon library.
We did.
While we were
finally
inside last year.
Right.
So we started using that. So all that's great as in terms of the show and we're gonna keep doing stuff like that. We wanna keep doing different types of content. Obviously we wanna keep doing barrel picks and things like that.
Yep.
But I think that you and I know, being in the industry and just me being in marketing and you being in video, it doesn't last forever.
You're talking about MySpace?
Okay, so that's my favorite analogy to use.
MySpace effect?
But there are other things like that. You know, people, something comes out and people think for a few years, oh, this is it. And I like to use MySpace as the example because once Facebook came on the scene, it really fell off. And you know, with YouTube, now we have TikTok.
Now available on TikTok. 2021, we are over halfway done with it, but we don't know where it's gonna go.
We never know.
We have the New Orleans Bourbon Festival to go to still this year.
Kentucky Bourbon Fest.
Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
On the Banks.
Bourbon on the Banks.
Austin again.
Austin for the Bastards Ball. Another meetup.
So yeah, we want to do more in-person stuff, but you know, I really look forward to that stuff. At the end of the day, we just want to add to your experience and to your life, truly.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we can say about that.
I think so too.
I don't think we're gonna change. We're like Jenny from the Block, right?
Yeah. That could be the title of this episode. We're just Jenny from the Block.
No, that's not gonna be it.
Used to have a little, now used to have a little, now have a lot.
Yeah, you have a lot.
We're just Jenny from the Block.
Sure.
Look that up if you don't get that reference.
You're still Jenny from the Block.
Since we brought up Jennifer Lopez, I feel like that is like the point where we just need to wrap it up. 2021, obviously, year of the picks. Yeah, I guess that's where we gotta leave it. Thank you for sticking around for what is obviously a long episode, but it's a milestone.
But I think honestly, we gotta thank you.
Oh my God, so much.
Because
so much.
We wouldn't be at 5 years if it wasn't for you, the viewer.
Yeah.
So.
And thank you.
I don't have enough. but you go.
Thank you to those who have been around longer and who have kind of been our bourbon Sherpa along the way and have guided us. And those who have come along after us who we have developed such great friendships with. And to the viewers who have gotten us to almost 80,000 subscribers and who we see every week in the live chats and we see in Patreon and we see at the meetups and everything. It is just such a strong bourbon and whiskey representation that we feel not deserving of, but we never take for granted, and we try to not take for granted, and we absolutely appreciate from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you guys so much for 5 years. Here's to another 5 years. If you haven't subscribed already and would like to, you can do so.
And you watched this whole episode and you haven't subscribed?
By clicking right up here. There's suggestions of other videos right down here. We hope to see you over there in one of those. Sarah, thanks.
Thank you.
Until next time, drink more bourbon.